Hey guys, welcome back to another Gaming Memories video. Here we are actually taking a look at Rayman that was released on the PlayStation way back in the early days. It was actually released within the first couple of months on the PlayStation's launch. I think it was originally in North America. It was actually originally part of the launch lineup of the PlayStation. Originally it was actually developed for the Atari Jaguar, but it later got ported then say to the PlayStation, and then later on then onto other consoles, Sega Saturn, PC and so forth. So it's actually quite a popular game, and it spawned a load of different sequels in the Rayman franchise later on, even modern consoles, even up until most recent years, likes of even with the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, even the PlayStation Vita. Rayman, the franchise is still going very strong. It's very, very popular. And you can clearly see why. It's definitely a unique type of platform and game, because even like when you look at even the graphical style of the game here, and this is the very first game in the series, and honestly the graphics are quite exceptional. They're beautiful actually. They're like hand-drawn type of graphics, real cartoony, very, very bright, colourful. It's definitely something that looks really, really well, and even by today's standards still absolutely looks stunning. It really, really does. And you can clearly see why. Now the games in the series have definitely evolved over recent years. They definitely can do like you have different kind of like abilities and stuff like that, but again that's just kind of with the evolution that goes along with these games. But this is the original title within the series, and it definitely has changed a lot over the years. They've done different iterations of the game, like they've gone into 3D, but primarily they've gone back into like sort of 2D kind of style gaming, because I think it's just the original style and it probably is the most popular. And going back to this game here now, I remember actually I did originally play it. I remember this is actually part of one of the games I remember that we got actually for, it was in Christmas of '97 when I first actually got my original PlayStation. We had been playing the PlayStation for months, but we never actually had our own PlayStation. We used to either have to rely on renting the console out at the weekends, or some of our mates would actually have the console and bring it over to the house at the weekends, or we'd stay over in our house, and that'd be our opportunity to play it. And eventually we got our hands on it, and we actually got a number of different games for Christmas. I was 14 years of age at the time when we first got it, and I was excited. I was just a big child, could not wait to actually get the PlayStation and to finally actually have one of our own for Christmas. And we ended up getting a number of games. There was like Active Soccer, Ridge Racer, there was Fade to Black that we actually got, and my dad actually wanted to get a game, so he got like PGA Tour Golf 1996. Now I'd already bought a couple of games before I actually got the PlayStation. I bought Die Hard Trilogy, and I bought the very first Destruction Derby game originally, and we actually been collecting the monthly magazine demo, so we had loads to play. But we also got this here game. I remember one of my brothers actually, my other brother Martin, and he wasn't that big into games, but there were certain games he did like playing, and he had a choice of what game he actually wanted, so he actually picked this one. This would have been more his type of game at the time, but then he was a lot younger as well. So we all decided to actually give it a go. I remember on Christmas morning when we unwrapped the PlayStation and actually got to play it, and it was my first experience ever playing Rayman. I'd never played it up until that point. And then my brothers actually loved it. They thought it was pretty cool, but it was difficult. And I remember I actually played it. I actually liked the look of it, even though I was more into probably playing other games, but I was definitely intrigued to give it a go. And I do love playing like sort of platform games. I remember I used to play like Sonic the Hedgehog, and especially like the Super Mario Brothers from the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. And I loved those games, so to actually play this here now was pretty cool. It's very different. There's definitely a lot more to do in it compared to other platforming games that I would have played over the years, but it's definitely a lot more difficult. I kid you not, this game is extremely difficult. I never actually got to fully finish this game. This is one of the very few games I never actually got to fully finish, because it just was ridiculously hard. I remember I got so far in it, and it was one of the games where I actually did have to give up, because I was struggling with it big time. And usually I would never let a game get the better of me, but this game actually really did. But this game is known for its difficulty levels. The further you get on, and it is known to be definitely one of the more difficult games on the PlayStation. Now, still played it, still enjoyed it. It is a fantastic title. It really, really is. Beautiful title. And it showcases what the PlayStation was all about back in the day, especially in the early days. I have mentioned it in previous videos, like during the launch period of the PlayStation 1, it had so many unique and cool titles, and this here was pretty much part of that lineup. And it's crazy to think, like, there were so many games that offered something different. Like, there were so many different cool ideas with games. There was pretty much, like, there was literally a game there on the PlayStation within the first few months. There was a game that suited everybody. You know, any type of game that you were looking to play, whether that be racing games, combat racing, fighting games, you had sports games, and then like these here type of games. There really was something unique for everybody to play. So that's the one thing that really kind of appealed to me with the PlayStation, that it wasn't just for grown-ups. There was games there that suited all ages, all genres. It definitely was more of a grown-up type of console, because it definitely brought likes of more grown-up games to the mainstream, but it still catered for the likes of kids and younger players as well, to also still have games there that they could play, and this was part of that lineup as well. So that's what was really, really cool about it. It definitely was something unique. There really was something for everybody. There truly was, like. So that's why I love the PlayStation so much. But again, yeah, it's a difficult title, and even going back to actually playing this game when I was recording it, playing for this video, I knew that it was still going to be very difficult, and it's as hard as I remember. It really, really is. Even within the first few levels, you really have to take your time playing through the levels, because if you try to rush it, you will make a lot of mistakes and you will pay a hefty price. You'll end up having to restart the level over and over again, and it can get very frustrating very, very quickly if you're not patient and you're not watching what you're doing. As you can see here, going back to even just the second level, I actually did have to retry it quite a few times, because again, I'm quite rusty at it and I haven't played it in a long time. So definitely took a few tries to actually get the hang of it. I actually had to cut a lot of the video out because I kept dying that much, but I wanted to get at least a good bit of footage for the video, so at least that way I can have the video at least a decent length, that it's not going to be like 2 or 3 minutes long. Because again, I know that there's a lot of Rayman fans out there, and there is a lot of fans of this game, so to be able to actually see it being played as well, it's you want to kind of enjoy the experience as well with games like this. So that's why I says, right, I better go and play it for a little while and try and get back into it. But aesthetically, the game is beautiful. It's one of the best 2D looking platformer games pretty much I've ever seen on any type of console. It really is, like, it really is just incredible looking. It's so cartoony, but the visual style is just, yeah, it really stands out. It really, really does. Because you have so much going on the screen at any one time, and it really it kind of really just fits in really, really well. So when you're playing through the game, again, you don't start off with too many of the abilities. You don't get the likes of the punching ability until, like, say, after you finish like the first level, or say near enough to bit through the second level, and then you can actually go about then trying to complete different tasks. So you have to try and rescue, like, say, Rayman's friends and stuff like that are all captured. You'll have like kind of like cages around the levels, and you have to break them free, as you can see there, to try and free them up so that you can complete the level. Again, the one thing that's like this, if you've even played the Crash Bandicoot levels as well, each level doesn't demand one playthrough. You will have to come back later on to unlock other areas that you couldn't get into, because again, you need to wait until you actually have enough your powers and abilities unlocked throughout the game, and then once you've actually done that, then you can actually then get further in the game or unlock all the other bits and pieces that you may have missed in the level, because there is a lot of secret areas that you may not even find. So you do need to play through the game quite a bit until you've actually gotten everything that you need. And you'll see the progress of your journey as you go through the game. You'll see that when you go to each level, you'll see that if there's bits and pieces that you've missed out on, so that way then when you've gotten better at the game and you've unlocked more abilities further on, that you can always come back and finish them off, which is definitely really cool, because it definitely adds to the replayability factor of the game. Now it all depends if you've patience to play it as well, because like I said, it is a difficult game. It really is, but it's a fantastic game. It really is. I just love the visual style of it. It's aesthetically, it's just as beautiful. It's definitely one of the best looking 2D platformers I've ever seen. Even to this day, it's still one of the best. It's incredible looking. So each of the levels do kind of vary in difficulty as well, but they definitely increase in difficulty the further on you get. You really have to time your jumps, and you really have to time your kind of attacks as well when you're taking in enemies. So you really have to mind your surroundings. If not, you will get destroyed. You'll definitely pay a price, as you can see. But again, it's a good experience, and for fans of Rayman, I definitely recommend that you go back and check it out if you're on the fence about it, if you haven't played it for a long time, or even if you're new to the franchise, or you've played some of the more later Rayman games and you want to experience where it all started. I definitely recommend you give this a go, just to see what you think of it yourself, because it is a fantastic and worthwhile title to play, and it's definitely a great way to actually experience one of the earliest games released ever on the PlayStation 1. So I highly recommend that you give it a go. So I'd love to know your thoughts on Rayman for the PlayStation 1. Did you enjoy it back in the day, and did you have a lot of fun with it? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? Be sure to share them down in the comments below. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video, as I am going to be replaying a lot of these old classics and share my thoughts and experiences with everyone. So as always, make sure to keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and keep those gaming memories alive.